how long does it take for an optimized page to move up in the rankings? So say I've created this, done my research, done this perfect page. Is it like next day? I assume not.
Well, one of the factors that depends on is how much authority your site has, and how difficult that particular term is. One thing that I've really gotten into is determining what your natural tier is. This is something where Google, if you launch a page, Google will put you on page 1, page 2 without any effort, because you launch a piece of content that is within your natural tier. You've seen this before. Everyone's done this. You launch a page and you hit page 2 with no work, and you think you're just an SEO god. And then you do it for something that's very similar, and you're like, oh man, this should be, and you can't crack the top 100. And the difference between those two is that one was in your natural tier and one wasn't. And the idea is that you can still win with that other one, but it requires boosts to take you out of your natural tier and move you up. And those boosts are often backlinks or other types of signals that are outside of your page or more intense on page, for example. The problem with boosts is that when Google changes things, what happens is Google doesn't penalize you when an update happens. Google just removes the boost, and then you just move back down to where you belong.
Oh, wow.
So a key point is to identify where your tier is and then post content within that tier so that you naturally move up by gaining traffic from Google with relatively no SEO. So that when updates happen, when changes happen, when somebody was giving you a backlink and that page just goes away, link rot is what it's called, not through no fault of your own. But the idea is that then you don't take the hit. The idea is that you have a little blip, but because most of your traffic or a good chunk of your traffic was based off of basically no SEO, just posting content within your natural tier. And then as you move up tiers, you can post content that is more competitive, that could get more traffic, and you can kind of gradually move up those tiers. And then you really don't have to worry about any Google updates or any changes in Google or anything like that. And your site will really start rocking.
So how do you determine what your natural tier is? Is that, stack ranking, what's doing well, what's performing well, and what are the commonalities of those pages?
That's a great way to do it. Another way to do it, and this comes from a guy named Chris Carter, and you can search Builder Society, SEO with no resources. He has a great article on this, and I think that's a good starting point. But the idea is that it's based on how much traffic Google is giving you now. So if Google is, say, giving you between 50 and 100 clicks a day, you can go after keywords with low competition that are 50 to 100 for a month. And the idea is that you can write a piece of content and post it, and you should rank, page 1, 2, 3 quite quickly. And then you're posting in the correct tier. If you are posting those types of keywords and you're not in page 1, 2, 3 quite quickly, and by quickly I mean a month or two. And if that doesn't happen, then you need to come down a notch in terms of the volume, the monthly volume for those particular keywords, and you can find your tier, and then you'll see it start to click. Where you're probably hitting about
more competitive, less competitive.
Right.
And I think that's very relevant in this industry because people can optimize that long tail. The long tail keywords is still very much alive when it comes to these engineers, Googling very specific issues or technical challenges, whatever it is. So,
well, we see that all the time because when you think about spec pages that have the product, the SKU or the product identifier, that's just like all kinds of digits. Those are easy to win. Those have very low competition. You do a whole bunch of those though, and your site performs very well. Because you could put that into some sort of tool and it'll tell you it has 0 search volume. And you're like, is that a waste of time? They're not. Definitely do them, even though there's 0 search type terms within your technical thing, purview. But it also shows that you have topical coverage for what you're talking. All the products are related to each other. So when somebody's searching for that particular thing, Google knows, there's a chance somebody can find it here.
So the aggregate will do well, and then you'll get into your higher volume searches.
Exactly right.